Well, it's already week 8 of the high school football season here in Stark County, and again, that means it's time for another preview review here on WHBCSports.com, and we've talked to many of our voices so far this year, and this week I have the pleasure to be joined by Frank Cilona, our TV sideline voice, and Frank, I can't believe it, we're 7 weeks into the season, and this is where the nitty-gritty happens. This is where you make those playoff points and you position yourself in those computer rankings, and we figure out who's going to be playing beyond this point.
Yeah, you're right, John. It really is. Week 8, Week 9, Week 10, those are they're the weeks that these teams kind of separate themselves from the rest. And the cream rises to the crop. A lot of them have rivalry games coming up, and that's going to be difficult for some of these teams as well. But this is the time of year. You've got injuries that have mounted up throughout the season. You've got kids that are sore, but now's the time to really toughen up.
This past week, Frank, of course, was at Louisville as the Leopards took on Cardinal Mooney. They improved their record to 4-3 on the season. It was a huge win for them as far as I'm concerned. It kept them alive in the playoffs, and they have a junior gunslinger at quarterback who you're a fan of, don't you?
Yeah, I really like Colton Jones. This young man is something else. I mean, I watched him play in that ball game, and I saw him earlier in the year as well, and he's something. He's the poise that he has in the pocket, and we're very fortunate this year in Stark County. I think this is the year of the quarterback here in Stark County. We have some great quarterbacks out there. He's one of them. The amount of time that he spends on his work. I mean, talk to Coach DeMarco. This young man is very dedicated, certainly to his skills, but I was so impressed just the way he put the ball out there and allows his receivers to separate and work their way open and get make big plays.
It's almost as if he has too many targets to get the ball to sometimes, from Zupi to Pukas to Burek, and even you throw Maddie in there when everything is said and done, just a slew of targets. You mentioned the year of the quarterback. Well, we're here at Hoover today. They have Connor Ashby. He's a sophomore. Yeah. And then your alma mater, Sandy Valley, has a sophomore who's pretty good as well.
Real good. Yeah, Cam Blair is who you're talking about, and Cam is just a phenomenal kid. Just a sophomore, like you said. I think this is the year of the super softs. We got Connor Ashby and Cam Blair in Stark County, and these two kids, believe me, I've watched them both play. Again, the poise in the pocket, the way they read their defenses, they look over the field, they put in the time on the, during practice and things like that. They are very, very good. They're kids that are going to be top name, or they're already top name kids in the county, but they're going to be, when they become seniors, look out.
Top names possibly in the state. I heard that starting to come out of your mouth there, and it's very true. That is what they will become. And you think about it this year, the junior that we mentioned in Colton Jones, you throw in Aiden Longwell, a junior at Massillon, 2 sophomores, Ashby and both Blair, having great seasons. We flip to week 8 though, and you guys this week have a classic backyard brawl that, as you were telling me on the phone, not a lot of people talk about, but it does have that rivalry sense, doesn't it?
Yeah, it has. And regardless if the coaches want to admit this is a rivalry. I mean, it may not be a school-to-school rivalry, and that has built up over the years, but this is a backyard rivalry, meaning these kids live next door to each other. Some of them do, and the majority of the roster from Jackson, or from Central rather, are Jackson kids, and these kids know each other. They've grown up together. They've played midget football together. They've maybe gone to grade schools together, and now that they go to separate high schools, they still know each other and they want to beat each other in a rivalry type fashion. So yeah, the coaches kind of poo-pooed that a little bit this week and said, we're not going to call it a rivalry, but I think it is. I think it really is, because when you're playing your next door neighbor that you've grew up with, you want to hit them a little harder, run a little faster, and do those things that a rivalry has in it. So I think it is a rivalry. I think this is going to be a great ball game. I think they're two teams that are fighting for their playoff lives. Jackson really needs a win. Central really needs a win. So it's going to be fun Friday night over in Jackson.
They've split the last 2. Last year, of course, Jackson the winner. The year before that, Central the winner, and they both won on each other's fields. So I guess this year your rubber match, and anything can happen in a 3-set series like what's taking place this Friday in Jackson Township. He'll be on the call, Frank Cilona, along with Dave Sheets, Mark Miller in the booth with Dave, and then Frank on the sideline. Our stream game this week, WHBCSports.com, will be at Sandy Valley as the Sandy Valley Cardinals play host to the East Canton Hornets in a big IBC matchup. And then lastly, the radio crew will come right out here to Hoover, the friendly confines of Memorial Stadium, as the Vikings play host this week to the I guess, squandering Green Bulldogs at this point in the season. He's Frank Cilona. I thank him for joining me this week. And I'm John Bazika, and this has been your Week 8 preview review. Enjoy the week, and we'll catch you next time.